Guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel, and today we're going over the new cards for Legends of Runeterra. So these will be coming out pretty soon. The idea behind this specific release of cards is that we've now hit the 2-month mark after the original release of Call of the Mountain. And now we're getting our 2-month little extra dose of cards. And we even got a new card type, Landmark. Now, before I talk about that, I do want to mention that I'm not going over the video that they did post. If you want to go watch that, go onto the Legends of Runeterra YouTube or on their Twitter. I just don't feel like I need to go over that. It's more redundant stuff. They did have a couple of interesting things. They're going to have a new event, and they're even starting like their own tournaments instead of just the Twitch tournaments that have been going on. So that'll be pretty cool to check out when it happens. But we're here to talk about cards. So this new landmark type is basically, it's like an enchantment from Magic the Gathering if you ever played. The idea is it takes up a unit slot, but it's not a unit. It has an effect that happens each turn. So with Vaults of Helia, it's a 5-mana landmark. This is round start. Kill your most expensive ally to summon one from your deck that cost 1 more. Now, they did specify that landmarks use unit mana and not spell mana, so you do have to keep that in mind. So, the Vaults of Helia specifically takes up a unit slot, which is kind of annoying in the long run. But being able to kill your own unit to summon another one is actually a pretty strong ability. And given that we don't know how much removal there will be for landmark cards, this could just be easily a very powerful card in certain revival decks. I don't know. There's a lot of things that Shadow Eyes can do with this. Even ephemeral units might work as well. I don't know. The idea behind this card seems pretty strong. It's even it's sort of a tutor where if you have a specific unit cost, you can just get a very specific unit out of your deck. Knowing what cost ally will die and which one will be tutored. That's sort of interesting. I think the most applicable thing for this card is cheating out a They Who Endure, but you'd have to have a 6-cost unit for that, and Shadow Eyes doesn't really have that, neither does Fretlord. And if it does kill an ally and doesn't have something to summon one more, I actually don't know if it'll kill the ally and not tutor it up, or kill it and not tutor. I don't know how that would work. So you have to build your deck specifically around this card. Being 5 mana also means it's kind of clunky. Turn 5 is not really a turn where you want to play something that has no initial impact. Even certain cards, certain cards have to meet a certain standard at turn 5, and this one doesn't feel like it meets that, unless it's in some niche deck where you can actually make a pretty good pretty good value out of the ability to cheat out a unit. And next we have the spoilers from today. I do want to mention that spoiler and the video were from the 4th and today's the 5th. I was a day behind, but yeah, anyway, let's get into this. So first we have Crusty Codger, 1 mana 2/4 that says play, deal 2 damage to me. So this is from Bilgewater. So the most comparable thing is a Jagged Butcher. Jagged Butcher is a 1 mana 2/2 that might be a 3/3. To compete with that, Crusty Codger has to be in a very specific deck archetype. And I feel like that this is a pretty good card just because of that. The fact that you can heal it up and make it a 2/4 is pretty nice. The fact that you can summon it instead of playing it with certain cards, like Retreat and Recall, or I think it's Retreat, yeah. The Retreat card can cheat it out just as a 2/4. It's pretty strong. But the thing that seems the most valuable to me, and we haven't seen the new healing champion, so this might change, but I feel like this is best in a Vladimir deck. Vladimir levels up once you've had your allies survive 5 times, I think. And Crusty Codger immediately is a 1 mana 2/2 that gives him 1 tick on his level. That is pretty strong. And a lot of these cards you'll see just on this page are all do self damage, and that can be pretty powerful for a Bilgewater Vladimir build. That can be super aggressive and pretty powerful at dealing over the top with Vladimir's ability. I definitely want to try out that deck for sure, seeing all these cards. Next we have Fortune Croaker, a 2 mana 2/3 that says play, deal 1 to me and an ally to draw 1. I do believe, because this is a play effect, that you don't need to have 2 allies in order to activate this. You can play this turn 2 even if you didn't have the Crusty Codger turn 1 and get that draw effect. So essentially it's a 2 mana 2/2 to draw 1. It's a 2 mana 2/2 that draws 1. The only other card that is even relatively close to this would be Avarosint Sentry. And Avarosint Sentry is a 2 mana 2/1. 1 health matters a lot with cards like Make It Rain, Static Shock, just things that can deal 1 damage. And it says draw 1. With Fortune Croaker, you're drawing immediately. And on a 2/2 body, that's insane. Especially in a deck that's going to want to do damage, self-damage, or just even has some sort of extra healing. We have seen a lot of Targon cards that can heal for relatively low extra cost. And they've only needed to have applicable units in order to be competitive. You know, when these cards are giving them a space where they can heal things and actually get a lot of value. And that's going to matter a lot for a potential Bilgewater Targon build. And I definitely think that could be pretty strong. And Fortune Croaker dealing 2/2 things. So imagine you play a Crusty Codger turn 1, Fortune Croaker turn 2. You're not only drawing a card, but you're also getting 3 total ticks on your Vladimir level up. That, on turn 2, is something that not even Freljord, the other region that we've usually seen for Vladimir, no other region has been able to level up Vladimir that quickly. And if you want to turbo Vladimir out turn 5 and just get an easy win, this feels like the best region to do it now. Especially when you have a huge arsenal of already Noxus cards that can work well with Bilgewater cards, and the idea that plunder effects are going to be your key here to making the deck work. Next, we have Boxtopus, a 2 mana 3/4 challenger that says play, deal 3 to me. So again, on the self-damage theme, it's basically a 2 mana 3/1. This reminds me a lot of Jaw Hunters, except it's 2 mana, and we haven't actually seen a lot of 2 mana challenger cards. We have seen a couple 1 mana ones with the bird, I can't remember what it's called, and then some 3 mana ones. Definitely a 2 mana challenger could make certain situations more interesting. Especially in the meta right now. I don't know how strong a Boxtopus could be being at 1 health, but in a lot of situations where you can heal him in response to their spells, or just heal him with like a Kindly Tavern Keeper turn 3 immediately, means that you can get a pretty solid attack out of this guy. I mean, Kindly Tavern Keeper with this turn 3 is just a huge swing. Imagine playing a Crusty Codger. So that's a 2/2, that's a 3/4, and a 3/3. Turn 3, that's a huge swing for mid-range decks and even tempo decks. It just feels really strong. And doing the self-damage theme still works for cards like Vladimir, although it seems less applicable because 1 health with Vladimir does die immediately. The challenger could make a difference in that situation, however, meaning they have 1 less blocker for something with more power, like the Vladimir itself and other things. And that could matter a lot in that situation. So I definitely think it's going to be a nice flexible card for the region overall, for the healing decks and the Vladimir decks. That seems like a great theme for this, over all these cards, right? Next, we have the Slaughter Dock. So this is the second landmark we've seen. This one should be pretty interesting. It's 3 mana. Round start, toss 1. If you are deep, destroy me and summon a random sea monster. So basically, if you play this turn 3, you are going to usually go deep turn 6, 7. Any later than that, and you're kind of going too slow. I don't play deep that often, so I wouldn't know. But you're usually going to get 2 or 3 tosses out of this, and that seems just like a worse jettison. But you do get the additional benefit of getting a free sea monster right away. So you get the toss effects, it helps you get there a little bit faster, and then you get the free sea monster for the 3 mana you spent earlier. Usually that's going to make up for the cost in a lot of ways, and Deep is known for being a combo deck, which means it's going to be a little bit more grindy. And that means Slaughter Docks might fit really well into that strategy. But granted that you're usually winning with Maokai, and the sea monsters usually are only going to win you in certain matchups, I don't know if the Slaughter Docks is going to be too redundant of an effect where you already have a lot of sea monsters. Jaw Hunters makes another one. You're usually playing quite a few in the deck, and I just don't know how powerful it could be. Let me know what you guys think. I don't play Deep that often. I definitely think it's a little bit redundant, but it could find a slot, and it's definitely a cool landmark card. Next, we have Lounging Lizard. He's a 3 mana 3/5 with Elusive, and round start deal 2 to me. Alright, so this just feels like it could be a healing strategy. If you play into the heal with like a Kindly Tavern Keeper, anything that heals for 3, he does get to attack 3 total times, I think. If you play him on the attacking turn, yeah. So yes, he gets to attack 3 times if you have a 3+ health heal. Otherwise, he's attacking twice, and that's 6 elusive damage. I mean, 6 elusive damage is a lot, especially when Bilgewater has struggled in the past for finding elusives. I mean, you even play Bubble Bear just so you can buff it and get actual elusive damage. Lounging Lizard is going to be a pretty interesting inclusion. So far, we've seen elusives stretching out into other regions, mostly Bilgewater is especially one of the stronger regions, and I definitely think Lounging Lizard is proof of that. A 3-5 is hard to deal with, and on an elusive body, that's crazy. Even if it starts to lose health over time, it's still very impactful right away. And that's something you always want to look for. And when it's an elusive, that's just so much better. And in the Vladimir deck, is going to trigger him 3 times. Also, being an elusive attacker with a high health stat line immediately means that with Vladimir, he's actually going to matter a whole lot. That's 3 extra damage. That's a free unit attacking with Vladimir that you don't have to worry about dying usually. And with the health stat line, it can usually take the hit from Vladimir. So that just feels like one of the strongest Vladimir combos we've seen. And we're talking about Fortune Croaker over here that draws a card. I mean, this just seems insane. I can't wait to try out the Vladimir build. And once we see the new healing champion, or even Tom Kench, if I'm saying that right, who should be coming out tomorrow or the day after. I don't know where this is going, but it seems very powerful. Next, we have Crumble. 5 mana, slow speed, kill an ally to kill a unit or destroy a landmark. This is in Shadow Isles, which is the card we saw last time, the other landmark. So far, this is the only Shadow Isles card we've seen in this specific spoiler package. Overall, 5 mana to kill something when you have a Vengeance already that can just kill something for 7 mana. Doesn't feel like Crumble's going to do a whole lot extra to make your gameplay any better. 5 mana for a slow speed spell seems like a lot. Vengeance is 7 mana for fast speed, which matters a lot of the time. And the fact that you have to kill an ally, but your opponent, if they remove it, Static Shock, Make It Rain, a whole list of removal spells can just actually keep Crumble from activating. Glimpse Beyond would be better than Crumble in that situation because it means you can draw into Vengeance. Because Vengeance doesn't rely on you killing your own ally, and if your ally is dying before the Crumble resolves, the Crumble doesn't go. It doesn't resolve, and so you don't get to kill the opponent's ally. So I definitely think that Crumble is going to be a pretty unplayable card. 5 mana is a lot for slow speed. That definitely feels really bad. And killing an ally, therefore it has counterability. If your opponent doesn't need Deny or Spell Shield anymore, they actually just need a removal spell. That increases the odds of them being able to counter this a whole lot and enough to keep it from being playable. So Suncost is a Bilgewater card. It's 8 mana, slow speed, shuffle a unit or landmark into its deck. So this being a Bilgewater card is very interesting. We haven't seen a lot of Bilgewater hard removal spells in the past. And that's kept Bilgewater out of certain areas of control. I mean, we've seen Swain TF, but other than that, we haven't seen a lot of Noxus control decks. So Suncost being able to fill that needed Bilgewater role of removal and being able to shuffle a landmark as well as a unit into its opponent's deck is going to matter a lot. It's going to give you a little bit of flexibility, and it's also going to give you that hard removal that Bilgewater hasn't really had. The only problem is it's slow speed, and that limits its flexibility a lot. And I mean, 8 mana for a slow speed spell. Vengeance, guys, is 7 mana for a fast speed that can do basically the same thing except avoiding landmarks. So clearly they're trying to give Bilgewater more options, even if the options they're giving them are less flexible and probably not going to be seen nearly as played as often. But I definitely think that Suncost has a little bit of room for, it has a little bit of a chance. It definitely has a chance, guys, of being in Bilgewater decks just because of that hard removal that Bilgewater hasn't had. But that's only because it's in Bilgewater. The card itself is not applicable at all if you compare it to other cards like Vengeance and Will that we've seen in the past. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to check out the channel and our other content, and I hope I can get you guys the spoilers that come out tomorrow. And with that, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.